All right, so for today's video, I'm going to talk about basically like the boomer mindset of going through trials and tribulations and like the whole like you got soft hands, you just gotta life isn't fair, get used to it kind of mindset. And I'm gonna, like this kind of mindset is very much it's a slave mentality first of all, because this is basically slaves on the field competing for who can pick the most cotton for their masters, right? And this is like the boomer mindset is like, oh, you got soft hands. I work 60 hours a week. It's, okay, you're giving yourself physical problems that will hospitalize you and permanently damage you for life for an employer, for a multinational corporation. You're doing that to pay for missiles for Israel with your tax dollars, and that's supposed to be like the honorable thing, right? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, right? And another thing that's very interesting is like when people tell you to like stop complaining, or like stop complaining, you just work, or like complaining never did it. Well, what complaining actually does, like every civil liberty that you have today is because people complained. When the founding fathers threw tea into the fucking Boston Harbor, they were complaining, right? Every worker strike to strike against child labor, strike against like the mistreatment of workers, right? Workers' rights, all of that stuff happened because people complained about it. They didn't suck it up, and they didn't grow up, quote unquote. They didn't life isn't fair, get used to it. They're like, no, like we want it to be fair, and they complained about it, like they complained about it, and they were entitled, and that's the only reason you have any rights today. Every right, every single civil liberty, every single right that you have today is because somebody complained and were entitled to that. So I think that's like the ultimate sort of rebuttal is to that boomer mindset of life isn't fair, get over it, of like oh, you got soft hands, you just gotta work, and and it's yet again it's like this addiction to like competing for who has the most trials and tribulations, right? This addiction to being like, oh, you think you're a hard worker, I do this and it's like, okay, yeah, we get it, like you pick more cotton for your masters than the other slaves. Like you're a more productive slave. Like as if that's a fucking good thing, as if that's an honorable thing to sort of brag about, like as if that gives you a bragging point. And so like I just wanted to like talk about that, like that sort of boomer mindset of bragging about one's own slavery, right? Of bragging about like how bragging about your own trials and tribulations, having that as like we're trying to wear that as like a badge of honor when like the people that you work for couldn't care less, like as if it's like a virtuous thing, right? Because like literally the only reason why people go to work is the paycheck. And people act like, oh, you got to put in quality work and you got to go the extra mile for the company and all this other stuff, like complete BS, complete BS. These companies will skull fuck your kids and set you on fire in a piss barrel in the lobby for fun. And those are the people that you're having the perfect white New Balance sneakers and a perfectly ironed shirt and a firm handshake for those people. And that's supposed to be honorable. Like get the fuck out of here, you know? And yet again, you can look at this, like you can present this with historical evidence that complaining gives you more rights, right? I mean, think about like Luigi Mangione and like the United Healthcare. So like complaining gives you more right. Like it makes the powerful people scared enough to say like, oh, okay, dang, 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 okay, fine, fine, we won't hire children. We won't. It's like okay, fine, you're your own country now. Like with the American Revolution, right? Like, every revolution throughout history that like we see that as a good thing. Oh, they're freedom fighters. They're all this and that, and those people, they were quote unquote entitled. They quote unquote complained. And yet again, throwing tea into the Boston Harbor. Like, what is that? That's being quote unquote, like, according to the boomers, that's being entitled and complaining, right? But guess what? Complaining gives you more rights. Don't suck it up, right? If it's a violation of your rights as a human being, right? Then sucking it up. That's actually like the weakest mindset. People say, "Oh, you're just soft," and you like to. Like, isn't it actually like you're a softer person if you just take it without complaining, without raising any alarms? That like yet again, it's like you're a harder working slave. That makes you a softer person because you're not willing to go to go the opposite route, to go the opposite direction. You're not willing to do that because you're too soft to actually stand up for yourself. That's what that means. So the boomers, like the boomer mindset is actually like those people are the ones who are soft, right? And all of the people that the boomers admire, like, yet again, like the founding fathers and like the people who are freedom fighters, people who like the worker strikes and all that stuff. All of those people are, according to the boomers, right? Those are the people who are complainers. They're soft. They didn't like they didn't life isn't fair. Get used to it. Like no, that they fought for a fair life and they were entitled to all the rights that you take for granted today. They were entitled to it back then, and so they won. You know, like they won those civil liberties. Okay, so this whole idea of like sucking it up and get life isn't fair, get used to it, and just like taking everything just and turning the other cheek basically for a society that hates you. None of that is good and none of that works, and it's a slave mentality. But yeah, that's the video.